wanted to talk a little bit about fussy cutting. And fussy cutting will give you the design like this, where it's being stamped at the same point on each block. And then it creates that kaleidoscope effect. So I have a stamp here that is going to be used for fussy cutting. And when you fussy cut, you will stamp from the front of the fabric, and you don't want the sew lines on there. And so I'm working with a block right now that it's in manufacturing, and this will have none of your sew lines. I like to take my acrylic block, and I found it really helpful to mount so that one edge is sitting against the edge of the block, and it's easier, I feel like, to match up my pieces when I am stamping in large quantities. So I want to work with this grouping of flowers right here, and all I'm going to do is put my stamp over the pad. I'm sort of going to place it over the flowers. I sort of like centering, and so I'll just find a point that maybe can be a marker point for where it's going to be, and I'm going to use this little leaf right there as one of my marker points, and then just stamp down like so. Okay, so I've got that grouping there. So we're going to stamp this next grouping. I can see how I've stamped, I can see how much is sticking out, and give me a reference, another reference point on some of that, and it sort of parallels that leaf there. So I'm going to stamp in my ink again, and it's a little off, but it'll still fit with my sewing lines. And then I just keep going on down the piece of fabric, stamping. I look at the prior one as an example on where I've used as my points, and continue on. And I'll do 6 of those because my pattern shows 6 around a center. So I will group them in 6s. So once I have done my fussy cutting and I've cut them all out, I want to put the stitch lines back on the back that we have something to sew to. So I like to line up one edge with a straight line. This helps for centering the block directly over the top. And now I've got my block mounted that has the stitch lines on it. And I just put it in the ink pad. I center it over the top and just press down, and there you go. You've got your lines. And I'll do that with all 6 of them. And when I started doing this fussy cutting, I thought, oh, I don't know, that seems like a lot of busy work to me. But I have really enjoyed it. It's a way of using larger prints with your other smaller prints and creating some beautiful designs out of them.